Hello, my dear students. Today we are going to discuss a new chapter, that is nutrition in animals. So we have discussed the first chapter in the previous session, that is nutrition in plants, and today we will discuss about the nutrition in animals. So in nutrition in animals, you need to learn, that is what are the nutrient requirements, then mode of taking food, then and the utilization by the body. Okay, so nutrition in animals simply means nutrient requirements of the animals and the mode of taking food by the animals and how the body is utilize those nutrients. Okay, in 6th standard you have learned that what are the components of food, right? What are the components of food? That is carbohydrate, then protein, then fat, then vitamins, then minerals, then water, then roughage. So these and all we get through the food. So we can call it as components of the food. So here these are complex substances, right? So these are complex substances. So when we eat the food, we get carbohydrate, we get protein, we get fat, we get vitamins, we get minerals, we get water, we get roughage. Okay, so this we are getting these food components as complex substances. So our body cannot utilize these complex substances. So what our body will do? It will break down that complex substances into simpler substances. Okay, simpler substance. So that process is known as digestion. So that process is known as digestion. So I will say you what is digestion. So digestion means it is the breaking down of complex substances into simpler substances. It is the breaking down of complex substances into simpler substance is known as digestion. Okay, so one example I will say that we know that carbohydrate is a complex substance which will be broken down to glucose, which is a simpler substance. Okay, so that is digestion. So digestion simply means for the utilization of the body, we need to break down the complex substances. So breaking down of the complex substances into simpler substances is known as digestion. Okay, let's learn how the digestion is happening in the humans. So the digestion in humans. So I told you that digestion is the process of breaking down of complex substances into simpler substances, right? So for this process, they require lots of compartments. Okay, so the compartments that involved in the digestion of food in the humans are: first one, buccal cavity, then second one, esophagus, or we can call it as food pipe. Then third one, stomach. Then fourth one, intestine. So first it will be small intestine. Second it will be large intestine. Then fifth one, rectum. Then anus. Okay, so we digest the food by passing the food through different compartments. Okay, so these compartments are known as digestive tract. So these compartments are known as digestive tract. So digestive tract, otherwise digestive tract or alimentary canal. So digestive tract or the alimentary canal means through which the food is passing or through which the food will be digested. That is alimentary canal or the digestive tract. Which and all are the digestive tract? Which and all are the compartments that included in the digestive tract are buccal cavity, esophagus, stomach, intestines, then rectum, anus. So we will intake the food through the buccal cavity and we will remove the unused food particles through the anus. Okay, so uh, in this digestion process there are some glands, associative glands. Okay, there are some associative glands. Why it is called associative glands? Because it assists the process of digestion. So that associative glands, we can say it as salivary glands, then stomach, then liver, sorry, not stomach, liver and pancreas. Okay, so these are the associative glands. So they produce a digestive juice. So these produce digestive juice which helps these uh, digestive tract to digest the particles or the digest the food particles fast. Okay, so the digestive tract or the alimentary canal and together the associative glands are known as the digestive system. So digestive system means digestive tract, digestive tract plus associated or associative glands are called digestive system. So don't forget that the terms like digestion, digestive tract, digestive system, associative glands. So digestion means it is a process of breaking down of complex substances into simpler substances. Digestive system means or digestive tract means through which it is a canal system through which the food goes from buccal cavity to the anus for the digestion of the food and also utilization of the nutrients. Okay, then third one is associative glands. That means which are the glands which are associated with the digestion process, and we have discussed about three. We had named the three associative glands that helps for the digestion, and they secrete a digestive juice which help for the digestion, and the digestive juice plus the digestive tract together called a digestive system. Okay, so digestive system means it is a system which contains the digestive tract and the associative glands. So let us learn more about these compartments and the associative glands. Okay.
Now let us discuss about the buccal cavity or the mouth cavity. So you all knows that food is taken into the body through mouth. So the process of taking the food into the body, that is known as ingestion. Okay, don't forget that process name, ingestion. So we knows that inside the mouth cavity we have teeth, tongue and salivary glands for breaking down the complex food materials, right? So we chew the food with the teeth and break it down mechanically into small pieces. So when we talk about the teeth, each tooth is rooted in a separate socket in the gums. So our teeth vary in appearance and perform different functions. So let us discuss what are those teeth and what are their functions. Okay, so here you can see the picture of arrangement of teeth and different type of teeth here, and also we can discuss the functions. So before that we need to understand about milk teeth and the permanent teeth. So milk teeth means it is the first set of teeth grows during infancy and they will fall off at the age between 6 to 8. So that type is known to be, or that is termed as, milk teeth. Whereas the second set that replace them, that is known as permanent teeth. So the permanent teeth may last throughout the life or fall off during the old age. There are 32 number of teeth present in an adult person. So here you can see that picture which showing the lower jaw. So in that lower jaw you can see 16 number of teeth, right? So it will be same as in the upper jaw. So altogether 16 plus 16, it will be 32. So there are 4 kind of teeth: incisors, canine, premolar and molar. Now discuss what are the number and function of these teeth. So first you can see that incisors, right? So in the lower jaw you can see 4 incisors, and in upper jaw also you can see 4 number of incisors, altogether 8 number of incisors, which are used for cutting and biting. Okay, so incisors are cutting and biting teeth. The next one, that is canine teeth. In lower jaw you can see 2 number of canine teeth, and in upper jaw also you can see 2 number of canine teeth. So altogether it is 8 in number. So what is the function? Piercing and tearing teeth. So the canines are used for piercing and tearing the meat or the food material. Okay. Then next one is molars and premolars. So that is in the lower jaw it is 10, and in upper jaw also it is 10. So altogether 20 number of molars and premolars. The function of molars and premolars is that it is used for chewing and grinding the food material. So altogether it is 32 number of teeth present in our buccal cavity.
So food pipe or esophagus. Food pipe or esophagus. So the swallowed food passes through the esophagus or the food pipe. So the food pipe starts from the neck and ends in the chest and goes through the chest, and the food pushes down by the movement of the food pipe wall. Okay, so the wall of the movement of food is by with the help of the wall of food pipe. So actually this movement takes place all along the alimentary canal. Okay, so that food pipe is the long tube-like structure which start from the neck and chest, and also it pushes the food down to the stomach. Okay, the food that we swallowed will passes through the food pipe and reaches the stomach. Okay, so sometimes the food, if the food are not accepted by the stomach, it will be vomited out. Okay, so food pipe we can call it as esophagus. It is a long tube that's starting from the neck and goes through the chest area, and it ends in the stomach, which pushes the food downward to the stomach with the help of the walls of the food pipe. Okay, so actually this movement is happening throughout the alimentary canal. Now let us discuss the stomach, the structure and function of the stomach and function. Okay, so stomach, when we says about the stomach, it is the widest part of alimentary canal. Okay, so the stomach is the widest part of the alimentary canal, and the stomach is a thick walled bag. It is a thick walled bag. It is a thick walled bag, and it is a flattened U-shaped. It is flattened U-shaped structure. It is a flattened U-shaped structure. So it's have two ends. So one end opens for the food pipe. So the stomach collects the food through one end of the stomach from the food pipe. Okay, from the food pipe it receive food through one end, and it opens into intestine through the another end. Okay, so the food pushes into the intestine through the another end. And here when we talk about the structure of stomach, the inner lining of just give important for that word, inner lining of stomach produces hydrochloric acid, then it produce mucus, then it produce mucus, and it produce digestive juice. Okay, so the inner lining of stomach produce hydrochloric acid, mucus, and digestive juice. So let us discuss what are the function of this HCl, or the hydrochloric acid, mucus, and digestive juice. So the mucus protects the inner wall, or it protects the stomach. Hydrochloric acid kills the bacteria that enter through the food, and also it keeps the stomach acidic medium. Okay, and what is the function of digestive juice? It convert the protein which is a complex substance into simpler ones. So let us discuss about the stomach. Stomach is the widest part in the alimentary canal. It is a thick walled bag, and it is U-shaped, flattened U-shaped structure, and also it receives food from the food pipe through one end, and it gives the food to the small intestine through the another end. Okay, and when we talk about the productions inside or secretion inside the stomach, that is inner lining of the stomach produces hydrochloric acid, mucus, and digestive juice. And what is the function of hydrochloric acid? It kills the bacteria, as well as it provide an acidic medium in the stomach. And what is the function of mucus? It protects the inner lining or inner wall of the stomach. And the function of digestive juice, that is to break down the protein. Okay, convert the protein, which is a complex substance, into a simpler substance. So let us discuss what are the function and structure of small intestine. Okay, so small intestine, as you know, that it is the longest compartment in the alimentary canal. So actually it is highly coiled structure. And actually it is of approximately about 7.5 meter long, and it receives secretions from liver and also from the pancreas, and also it has its own secretion or its own digestive juice, that it secrete intestinal juice, its own juice. Okay, for the digestion or the breakdown of the complex substances. So let us learn what are the function of liver and what is the function of pancreas. Okay, so liver, it is the largest, give important for that point, it is the largest gland, which is the largest gland of the body. So liver is the largest gland of the body. It is reddish brown in color. It is reddish brown in color. It is located on upper side of abdomen to the right side. And liver secrete a juice that is known as bile juice. It secrete a digestive juice that is known as bile juice, which will be stored in a sac that is called a gall bladder. So here you can see the picture of gallbladder. So gallbladder, right? So the gallbladder helps to store the bile juice that are secreted by the liver. So whenever the intestine requires these bile juice, it takes the okay. So whenever the bile juice is needed, that gallbladder will secrete the bile juice. Okay, so actually who produces bile juice, it is liver, and it will be stored in the gallbladder. Okay, and it is reddish brown in color, and it is the largest gland. Okay, largest organ is skin, but largest gland in our body is liver. Okay, and it produces bile juice, and it is stored in a structure called a gallbladder. And let us talk about the pancreas. Okay, so pancreas is a creamy colored organ. This is a creamy colored organ. And what is the function? It secrete pancreatic. It secrete pancreatic juice, and it helps for the digestion of carbohydrate plus protein. It helps for the digestion of carbohydrate and protein, and it is seen just below the stomach. Just below the stomach. And what and all we discussed, we had discussed about the small intestine. It is highly coiled structure. It's actually 7.5 meter long, and it receives secretion from liver and pancreas. Also, it has its own intestinal juice. And when we are saying about the liver, it is the largest gland, reddish brown in color. It is present upper side of the abdomen on the right side, and it secrete a juice called bile juice, and it is stored in a sac called a gallbladder. Okay, so actually the function of liver, which secretes that liver secrete bile juice for the breakdown of fat into simpler substances. Okay, fat into simpler substances. Okay, so function of bile juice is to digestion of the fat. And then we have discussed about pancreas. It is creamy in color, and it is to secrete a juice called the pancreatic juice, and it helps for the digestion of carbohydrate and protein, and it is just seen below the stomach. Okay, then what is the function of this intestinal juice? So after the digestion of the carbohydrate, proteins and fat, complete digestion may not be happened. So this will be pushed down to the lower side of the intestine. From there, complete digestion is happening. Okay, from the lower part of the intestine, that complete digestion is happening with the help of the intestinal juice. So at that time, what happens? So that time carbohydrate, okay, right here, at that time carbohydrate convert into glucose, fat into fatty acid and glycerol. Okay, fatty acid and glycerol, and protein into amino acid. Protein into amino acid. So this will be happens during the complete digestion in the intestine. Okay, so just remember that complete digestion occurs from the intestine, and that is carbohydrate will be converted into simpler one, that is glucose. Fat will be converted into fatty acid and glycerol. Protein will be converted into amino acid. Let's discuss about the absorption in small intestine. So we had discussed how the digestion will happens through these compartments. So in the lower part of the intestine, the complete digestion is happening and all. So now let us discuss how the absorption is happening in the small intestine. Okay, so the after complete digestion of the food, the nutrients can be absorbed, or the simpler substances can be absorbed from the small intestine. So there is a special structure, a finger like structure is there. Finger like structure is there in small intestine, that is called a villi. So there are finger like structures called villi in thousands in number. Okay, thousands of villi can be seen in the small intestine. So what will be the function of villi? So this villi helps to increase the surface area for the absorption. Okay, so the villi increases the surface area for absorption from the small intestine. Okay, so the villi is connected with thin blood vessels. So to the blood vessels, these nutrients can be transported. So that kind of absorption of nutrients to the blood vessel, that is known as absorption. And one more term you need to learn is that assimilation. Okay, that is assimilation. So what do you mean by assimilation? Assimilation means after the absorption of these nutrients into the blood vessels, what happens, it will be goes into, or it will be transported to different organs that we know, and that different organs utilize these nutrients, that is they utilize these simpler substances to make complex substances like protein, which are needed for the body building and all. Okay, so that is known as that utilization of these simpler substances or these nutrients that are transported to the blood vessels or to the blood, that is known as assimilation. That assimilation means it is the utilization of the nutrients by the body parts, that is known as assimilation. And we know that the glucose produced by the breakdown or the digestion of carbohydrate, we know that complete digestion of carbohydrate will mix into glucose. So this glucose will be utilized by the cells with the help of oxygen to make energy. Okay, so the cells utilize this glucose with the presence of oxygen to make energy. Okay, so this is known as assimilation. Utilization of the products that is formed after the digestion, and it is utilized by the body parts for different purposes. Okay, that is known as the assimilation. So which and all terms you need to learn is that absorption and assimilation. Absorption simply means that the nutrients will be get absorbed into the blood, and assimilation means blood will transport these nutrients to all over the body parts, and they will utilize these nutrients or these simpler substances for making complex substances. Okay, so that's example I told you that proteins, that amino acids which are formed by this digestive process will be utilized for the synthesis of protein, and also the carbohydrate which gives the glucose by the digestion, and this glucose with the help of oxygen inside the cell, they will make the energy. Okay, so that energy is needed for the daily life activities. Also the all body parts requires this energy. So this process is called assimilation, that is utilization of the nutrients by the body is known as assimilation. Okay, so after this digestion, the undigested food materials will be pushed down to large intestine. So now let us discuss what is the structure and function of large intestine.